tries her cell phone, but she doesn't pick up.
And then I break it into 4 pieces. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4.
It was later in the evening on the 20th when Tommy went to the hospital.
So I usually try to start very beginning. That's where my line is gonna be. I'm gonna start there. That first piece of hair. I'm doing is drawing a line across.
Tommy went to the McAlester Regional Health Center where Holly worked at and found her truck in the parking lot.
Trying just to clean up. We don't really take anything. We're just cleaning up what outside that imaginary line that we
Called the
created.
police department from the hospital parking lot while they were by Holly's truck and made the report that she had not returned home and that she was not at work. He just knew something must be wrong.
And then I do it to
Tommy
2, which is
sounded
fine.
a little scared. He couldn't find Holly. Where's Holly?
On January 20th, 2017,
And you see I'm just trying
40-year-old
to
Holly Cantrell left her job at
follow the
McAlester
magic
Regional
shape.
Health Center at 11:56 a.m. She hasn't been seen by her family in the past 12 hours, and her truck appears to be abandoned at work. Her husband Tommy heads to the McAlester police station, where an officer gathers information from him, but doesn't immediately.
I don't need to wax again. Now the tweeze.
Typically, when
So all I'm doing is tweezing whatever out the line. So
there's not
this
a
baby one right here.
that someone was kidnapped, we generally wait 24 hours.
And I get to even the small hairs.
Tommy drives back to the hospital parking lot. He gets inside Holly's truck with a spare key, and finding nothing amiss, drives it back home. Later at the house, Tommy calls anyone he can think of who might know where Holly could be.
Just tweezing whatever is outside that line. So this is
Police wonder if Holly may have been captured on one of the security cameras outside the hospital. Security personnel comb through hours of footage, and they get a hit. The video reveals several angles of Holly exiting the hospital and walking into the parking lot.
Nothing looked out of normal routine for Holly. She walked out the exit door where she normally scans her badge to exit out. Goes out into the parking lot, walking on her own.
But the video contains a couple of big surprises for the police.
I like to every tiny
Holly
little
told
hair.
her husband that she was working until 4:30 p.m. But the security camera shows her leaving the hospital a little before noon. And once she's in the parking lot, Holly doesn't walk toward her own pickup truck. She approaches another nearby vehicle.
No one was around her. Nobody was forcing her to do anything. And she walks out, gets into a green Dodge pickup.
The video clearly shows a man step out of the green truck. Seconds later, the truck pulls out of the parking lot with Holly inside. This appears to be the last time Holly was seen.
Now I just want to cut
Police now have an urgent
whatever I
focus to their
don't
investigation.
want.
Identify and locate
Just
the
trimming
driver
them.
of the green truck.
to get that perfect line.
Meanwhile, word that Holly is missing spreads quickly among her family and friends. Her oldest son, Trenton, first hears the news from his father, Holly's ex-husband.
It was around 9 o'clock in the morning when he woke me up and said, "Hey, you might want to try to contact your mom. They're looking for her." I have no clue what went through my mind except for to contact her, try to get a hold of her.
See, and I have
I
the
think I
perfect
called her
line.
like 15 times that day, and there was no answer. The phone was turned off. And then I called Tommy and I asked
So
him
then I'll
what's
do
going on. He told me what he
3,
knew.
4.
By late Saturday, Holly has been missing for more than 24 hours, and her husband Tommy officially files a missing persons report. He tells police he has no idea what could have happened to his wife of 16 years.
He was at a loss. Holly seemed to be his world.
And then you don't have to like warm it up. You can just place it on there and just.
Because our wax, you don't turn it off because it's on the perfect temperature. All the wax is in his hair.
Okay.
So it's never hot. If it is, because somebody turned it up.
I meant like when when you put the strip on and then you like rub it and then pull it. You don't have
I went up
to.
to the
Okay.
position and made sure the police
Well,
report was
just take a
filed
minute.
and all of that, just to make sure we could get the steps in motion, get a detective on the case to find her. It was just confusion. Like, I watched the investigation all the time, and this can't happen to me. None of this can happen to me. This is like, wow.
I think I don't do that because I pressed kind of hard already with the soft wax.
Yeah, no, it came right off. It was super clean. I was
Yeah.
like, oh, okay.
Because I go over the soft wax a few times, so it's really pressed in there. So now I don't need to do
Holly
it.
walked out on her marriage to him without a word or any warning at all.
I do maybe
Noticed
one
that she
thing.
went to
Just
work
take it.
one day with her 2-year-old son and never returned home. Didn't tell him where she was going or anything like that. And then she was later
Now they're
found
gonna
with her,
clean up.
her husband Tommy.
Like
Others
chicken,
know
man.
this family, including her sister Alice, tell investigators that account is true.
And what I'm trying to do is
but
gonna
there's a
try to get that
major
perfect
difference.
line.
Her first husband, she did leave, but the day that
Yeah,
she
that's
left
so
him,
crisp,
the next
like,
day she went and filed
On
for
video.
divorce. She didn't disappear. She left and came to my grandma's house. Everybody knew where she was when she left.
And even this tiniest little hair out of place will make it not as
Regardless of the
crisp.
exact circumstances, police wonder if Holly may have run away with someone again. Most likely, whoever was driving the green truck. They dive deeper into their investigation of Holly's personal life and uncover a secret.
We learned from a coworker in the physical therapy department that Holly had a boyfriend that she had been seeing. That boyfriend that Holly was seeing was identified as Cody Ketchum.
Cody Ketchum, who is married and 10 years younger than Holly, had been a family friend of Tommy's for decades.
Cody was normally at some of the family functions they did together as far as going to these auctions.
She mentioned Cody quite often, but it was always working the cows, or he was helping around their ranch, or they would all go out and the families knew each other. She never said nothing about being intimate with him, but you could see it in her eyes, the way she would talk, that she had a crush on him.
According to Holly's coworker, in recent months, the relationship between Cody and Holly developed into something more.
Okay, now you just match that one.
Advised me that she had plans to meet
So wherever
Cody
this starts is where I'm gonna start here.
in the afternoon with him. Knew that he was going to pick her up around lunchtime.
Police take a closer look at the security footage from the
So I'm right
hospital.
on it, so it's awkward for me on that side.
And with the help of
So I
Holly's
will
son,
curl.
Trevor, the
So
facts
imagine
begin to fall into place.
the front of that one
I knew she hung out with
here.
Cody. Cause like we went bowling one night, and I knew Cody's truck. When they told me the description of the truck, I was like, yeah, that's Cody's truck. And then they were like, how do you know? And I just told myself, I just know.
Cody Ketchum immediately becomes the first person of interest in Holly's disappearance, and McAllister police scramble to locate him. In the meantime, one of Holly's close friends confirms that she was having a relationship with Cody and makes a
And
startling
the second
disclosure.
part.
After visiting with coworkers at the hospital, it was brought to our attention that Holly was possibly pregnant.
And I'm just following what she had.
It's been 48 hours since Holly Cantrell was captured on security, hopping into a green pickup truck from her hospital's parking lot. Her family and friends have not seen her since. McAllister police are on the lookout for
That's
30-year-old
what I'm
Cody
tweaking.
Ketchum, who allegedly has been having an affair with Holly.
We received information.
So I'm just
that
trying to get the line to go,
Holly
like,
would
perfectly
sometimes
straight.
take a half day off of work to spend the afternoon with Cody, and then later go back home to her family.
Within hours, police track Cody down at home. He confirms that he was the man in the green truck in the hospital parking lot. But he says he has no idea where Holly could be. He tells police that the last time he saw her was at a restaurant called Brahms.
He told us that he picked Holly up that day from the hospital and took her to Brahms on Highway 69 and dropped her off in the parking lot. That Holly had plans to eat lunch with friends, that he was later going to return and pick her up.
Cody says that he and Holly had a date for that afternoon after her lunch. But a little later, he got back in touch to cancel.
He sent her a text that afternoon that says that he wasn't going to be able to spend the day with her. And Holly replies back to him via text message saying she would just go ahead and go back to work for the rest of the day. And that was the last communication that Holly had with anyone.
See how I got that line to be really good?
Cody says Holly told him she would get her own ride back to the hospital. And that was the last he heard from her.
Cody seemed really concerned about Holly's disappearance. He was willing to do anything and everything he could to help find Holly.
Cody tells police that he and Holly have been seeing each other for about 8 months, and often met during the workday, as they did the day she went missing. And she told him she was expecting a baby.
Holly told Cody that she was pregnant, and he did believe that the baby was his.
According to police,
I'm just
Cody's
trying.
account of the last day he spent with Holly checks out.
Cody voluntarily brought his phone into the detective division, where he gave us free reign to search his phone, do an electronic download of his phone, anything we needed, he was willing to let us do. Everything with Cody's phone checked out to the same story that he initially told us about Holly.
To vet Cody's story, Detective Rogers pulls Holly's phone records.
We were able to verify and match up what Cody Ketchum had told us about their conversation and what had went on.
Despite Cody's cooperation and cell phone evidence that seems to support his story, police say there is something that doesn't add up. Holly never appears on Brahms' security camera video from inside the restaurant that day.
We had no witnesses that seen her at Brahms.
And I'm just drawing a line,
employees at
honestly.
Brahms that had seen her. The only
Making as close as I
information we
can.
have about Brahms is Cody telling us that's where he dropped her off at.
Although some of Holly's coworkers tell police they knew she was going to meet Cody, investigators can't find any friends who had a lunch date with Holly on the day she vanished.
We talked to everyone we knew that she worked with or anyone that she was friends with, and nobody had plans to meet her that day.
But the restaurant security cameras don't cover the parking lot where Cody says he dropped her off. Detectives find themselves at an impasse. They can't prove or disprove that Cody dropped Holly off at Brahms' restaurant. All they have is Cody's word. Police say they have no evidence to connect Cody to Holly's disappearance, and Cody maintains his innocence, but he still remains a person of interest in the case. Hoping to determine Holly's last known location, detectives try to pinpoint where she last used her phone.
The last time we were able to do a location of Holly's phone, it pinged off of the McAllister downtown tower, which could be a pretty good sized radius anywhere around the city limits of McAllister that her phone could have been located.
Since Holly's house, the hospital, and Brahms all fall within the city limits, the ping gives detectives no new information. Sifting through Holly's phone history, police are able to find proof that her friends and family were desperate to reach her on the day she was last seen.
There were numerous text messages and phone calls sent to Holly's phone by family members and Cody trying to check on her, but there was never any phone
In the
calls
middle
that
part
was sent
last.
back to anyone that was texting or calling her.
Detectives discovered that the day after she went missing, Holly lost the ability to respond to incoming texts and calls.
And then I noticed
Holly's phone
where
was
their eye is right
suspended
there.
on January 21st, 2017, and from that point on, we weren't able to track anything on the phone.
just drawn a straight line, so it's
Holly's husband Tommy tells police he doesn't know anything about her phone being cut off, and that Holly pays all the bills for the family. In light of her affair with Cody, police have to consider whether Tommy could have been involved in his wife's disappearance. Tommy admits to police that he did sometimes wonder
not just
about
tweets,
Cody.
whatever will come out.
Cody was a friend of the family, and he was normally at some of the family functions they did. And Tommy told us, you know, just seeing the interaction between Holly and Cody when they would be around each other, he had some suspicion that something could be going on.
According to police, Tommy tells them that despite her infidelity, he would never do anything to harm his wife.
You could tell that he was hurt that she was seeing someone else, but Tommy was really concerned for Holly and her safety.
But police say Holly's side of the family has a very different take on her relationship with Tommy. They say that in recent years, the marriage hasn't been a happy one, and Holly's affair with Cody was proof of it.
You really don't know what goes on inside of the marriage.
Just make
except
sure
that
it's
you think
even.
in that marriage. But some days she seemed fine, happy. Other days, no. In the last
Ah, crispy.
Mm-hmm.
not happy.
Hearing that my sister was in a relationship outside of her marriage didn't surprise me. I knew she wasn't happy in her marriage as a soulmate. I don't think Tommy was that. I think that she was looking for someone to make her happy.
Holly's family says that over time, Tommy became more controlling, pressuring her to spend less time with them and more with him.
Holly was very alienated. But ever since she married him, that's the way that she's been. We still talk, everybody talked to her, but as far as like coming over and visiting her Christmas and stuff, none of that never happened.
A little bit of time would go by, and you could tell
Like, it
that
needs to make,
he
like,
was
literally a
far away
perfect
from
line.
us. When I would come over, you could tell she would start watching the clock.
Then we take
you
her
know,
brush
he's
gel.
gonna be home. You could tell she was starting to get nervous.
I just coat over here because this is a
Holly's
small
sister
brush. I
Maya
just
says
coat it.
that just a few months earlier, Tommy's control
yeah.
over her sister caused them to have a falling out. At the time, Maya was receiving outpatient treatment in the hospital where Holly
Take
worked.
I asked her if she could
So
come
at least
over
everything
on
the way I
break
needed to.
from the hospital.
And if
come
you
see
notice
me,
something,
or,
I do
you
like
know,
put that
after
piece
work.
of hair right
Yeah,
there.
she had more important things to do, that Tommy was really sick and she needed to see
Grab that.
him first. And so she didn't have time for me. And I hung up from the phone from talking to her, and
Brush mom.
I remember
This
getting upset.
side.
So I called her back and told her not to worry about me, that
See,
I wasn't important enough to come see, to go and, you know, take care of her husband
brush
first.
that in.
And that was the last time I talked to her.
But Tommy insists he and Holly have a
This
healthy
just
marriage.
looks uneven to me right here.
Talking with Tommy, you know, him and Holly's relationship seemed to be a good relationship. Tommy really never gave us any indication about any flaws or anything going on in their marriage.
According to detectives, he gives them full access to search his property and personal records.
We searched Tommy's phone and his phone records. Tommy gave us full consent to any other property or anything that we wanted to search.
These don't really match what's in here, so what I normally do
McAllister
is
police decide they
Put it
don't
on
have
back of my
cause
head.
to warrant a search of
Put it
Tommy
on
and
the
Holly's
collar.
home. Despite the conflict within the family, investigators can find nothing to connect Tommy to his wife's disappearance.
and then even at this part, if you're
Tommy has
all you're
been
doing is
very
putting the color right underneath.
keeping
So that line you
tabs on
created,
what's
you're just
going on
following
with the
that?
case, wanting to know if there's new information, wanting to know what he can do or what the family can do to assist us and bring in Holly
This
home.
that line.
5 weeks pass with no credible leads in Holly's disappearance. Until one day in late February, when a hunter stumbles across a vital
And even when you're doing this, you want to make
clue
sure you
12
match that.
miles from where
Because some
Holly
people
was
eyebrows are
last
like
seen.
uneven. So you can make them
First,
look.
just playing a little ways off the road.
I use this Q-tip and I clean up.
But
everything.
appeared that somebody
So I'm
just
getting as
pulled
close as
up
I
on the
can
roadway,
to
maybe,
lash
got out of
on.
the truck, walked a little ways into the woods and tossed the purse down.
And if you pick the wrong color, just wipe it off, honestly.
There were some credit
And then I don't use
cards,
oil to
her
clean
ID,
off
you
the
know,
wax because it just leaves them
personal
so
items
shiny.
that carried in
So
her
no,
purse.
what I do is I just use this
We got some,
Q-tip to clean it off.
some lead, something.
So
I
there's
didn't know
some
what to
right
think.
here.
I was just
See,
like,
just
well,
Q-tip.
maybe she's out here.
See, it wipes off. And this eye. And then just use my fingers to wipe off the excess. And then I wipe off the front because it doesn't look right in the front. So I just let it wipe
On
off.
February 25th, 2017, I received a call
I use my
from
hand
Pittsburgh County Sheriff's Office.
and just blend it into
Sheriff
the skin.
advising that there was a hunter out in the Cardinal Point
To
area
it to the color
that
light.
had
See?
located
That looks way
a
better
purse
than that.
in the woods while he was hunting that belonged to Holly Kendrick.
If you need to tweeze anything, you still can. You kinda can, you can.
Where Holly works, on Lake Eufaula,
So
where
that's
her
not the
family often
line.
went fishing and camping. Holly's identification cards are found with her purse, along with medications that she needed to take every day for serious health problems, including a heart condition.
When I found out that her medicine was in there, I was
That's good, right?
Yeah.
That's it.
you can disappear
Yeah,
if you want to. With no money.
You like